Hey everybody, this is Tom, otherwise known as Scary Spikes, and welcome to another Star Citizen video. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about the Aegis Dynamics Avenger Titan, but before we get started, just a quick reminder that I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on Twitch at 8 PM Eastern, and also if you're new to our community, make sure to come by our Discord and say hello. Links for both of those in the description below. Without further ado, let's get started with this video. The Aegis Dynamics Avenger Titan definitely makes a really great first impression. The ship has absolutely beautiful geometry, stunning lines, and a gorgeous paint job. Especially with the branding on the sides of the ship, it really makes it stand out, and I personally really love the lights on the winglets. Starting at the back of the ship, we can see the ramp that we'll discover in just a little bit, and moving over to the port side, we can see one of those winglets with the really nice LED strip lighting around the back. We can also see the nice Aegis Dynamics logo all over the ship, on the winglets, vertical stabilizers, and the hull of the ship as well. Our first weapon is here. This is the Gt220 Badger laser repeater, and we have a total of 2 of them on the ship. Moving around the other side here, the port side of the ship, we can also see that we have some air intakes in the front, and we also have this Gt220 Gatling gun mounted on the front as well. Those are size 2, just like the laser repeaters on the wings. Now, contrary to popular belief, you can actually get into the ship from the very front through the canopy, but we're going to walk all the way around and take a tour of the rest of the ship first, and then we'll enter the ship through the back where the gate or the ramp is. Over on this side, pretty much symmetrical as we saw on the port side, we have our air intakes as well, with a nice swooping wing over on the starboard side here, with the Gt220 Badger laser repeater underneath. Moving on, we'll see the other winglet, identical to the one on the port side, with the LED strip lighting on the front and the back, as well as the Aegis Dynamic logo on the winglet, as well as the vertical stabilizer and the port side, or sorry, the starboard side of the hull here. And then moving towards the back, we have our main thruster here, just above the ramp, which will just open up and have a look inside the ship. Simply hold F and press the left mouse button when you see open door, and this ramp will open up conveniently. You have some really nice lighting in here, as well as just a really solid design. It's got this sort of almost cube-shaped design, and it's really great for a number of different things. First and foremost, this ship is classified as a hauler, so you can definitely use this to haul around some commodities if you'd like to do some light trading, as it will take up to 8 SCU of storage. Additionally, if you are brand new to Star Citizen and you're just starting out and you don't have any money to invest into commodity trading, you can also invest your time basically into doing some box missions. And this is great because you have a ramp right here that you can walk literally right off and onto the ship, and you can actually store all of your boxes while you do your deliveries back here. Now here we do have some gizmos on the sides of the ship. We do have nothing but size 1 components in the ship, which we'll go over in just a moment. That includes all of the coolers and power plants and so on. But I digress. Let's move into the rest of the ship here and have a look at the living quarters, which are quite small, but it's actually quite nice. There's sort of this storage area here, which I don't think opens up. We have some more gizmos and a little TV over here. And this doesn't open up either. I believe there's just some maintenance stuff behind it. Over on this side, we do have a bed, which is really nice to have for a ship of this size, as well as some storage space up top. As we move further into the cockpit area here, there are some other panels here. I imagine that some of these panels probably hide different ship components into it. And we have a little staircase that's really well lit, and I actually really like the way that this looks. But this little staircase just leads us up to the main cockpit area, and then you can simply get into the seat by holding your F key and pressing the left mouse button. I would say that this is a very versatile ship, and you can use it for just about anything, from box missions to commodity trading to bounty hunting, and it really lends itself to being a great overall ship because of how well it handles and how little fuel it burns, and also it does a pretty good job with bounty hunting, which I'm quite surprised. That is to do with its gimbaled weapon loadout. As you can see, these are size 2 weapons, but if you know anything about gimbals and the size of mounts, you know that in order to have size 2 gimbaled weapons, you need to have size 3 mounts. And that means that if you want to and you have the skill, you're able to put size 3 weapons onto size 3 mounts, but those weapons will be fixed, and you will do more damage, but it will be quite a bit more difficult to track and attack your enemy. Overall, I think the ship looks absolutely stunning, and I want to go over some of the weapons and modules with you now. The cockpit is also quite beautiful. It's actually quite straightforward, and I really like that the canopy is completely wide open and you can see all the way around you. As I'm sure you've seen in one of my previous videos when I was talking about the CO Mustang Alpha, I don't think that that's particularly the best ship out there, but I do really like how the canopy is completely open and really gives you a nice view. This is very similar in that regard, which really appeals to my tastes. I really like the simple design and the fact that I can see all the way around me without having to worry too much. I also really like the fact that there are several really nice MFDs here, where you can see that we have 4 MFDs in total, and you can actually change these to whatever you like. Simply just go over to the menu button and change them to whatever MFD you like. So you can, for example, change this over to comms if you'd like, and so on. The ship is actually quite stunning at night, with some of the lights on the side of the ship, including those LED lights that I mentioned earlier on the actual winglets. You've got some red lights in the front of the canopy there, as well as the winglets, and of course you've got some lights on the front left and front right of the ship, as well as some lights illuminating the Aegis logos on the vertical stabilizers. Really quite nice, and it's a very well put together ship. The Aegis Avenger Titan comes with 3 weapons on the default loadout. The first is the nose-mounted Gt220 Gatling gun, which is a size 2. And then you also have a CF-227 Badger laser repeater under each wing. These are both gimbaled, and the reason why I really like this setup is because it makes it really easy for someone that's brand new to Star Citizen to get into bounty hunting, as this can do some decent damage. If you're a little bit more skilled, you can definitely replace those with size 3 weapons, as they will fit on size 3 mounts, but the gimbaled setup is really an easy start to bounty hunting, to kind of dip your toes into the water and get a feel for how the ship handles and make a little bit of money so that you can upgrade to potentially a bigger ship. Let's talk about the ship components as well. Okay, so we're at Urkel.games. If you don't know this website, it's a very useful tool that you can use to calculate DPS and try different types of builds and loadouts. You can also share and find other people's loadouts on here as well, and it's a very useful tool that I would definitely recommend you use, especially if you're a newer player. It does look a little bit intimidating, but once you notice where everything is situated, it's actually really quite easy to use. Going forward in all of my ship guides, I will be utilizing this website to go over the details of different loadouts of different ships, and I may also start sharing my own loadouts, so make sure to keep an eye out on this website, as well as the description below, where all of the relevant links will be posted. Okay, so getting into the weapons loadout of this ship, and one thing that I failed to mention earlier in the video is that we actually have missiles on board this ship as well. So we have a total missile payload of 14,774 with 2 Ignite 2 missiles on each wing, and that gives us a total DPS of 14,774. Total damage, rather, 7,387 on each set of missiles. Now, the regular pilot default DPS is 1,067 DPS. That's coming from our Gt220 as well as our CF227s, as we mentioned prior, and those all amount to about 146 alpha damage. So the first is the Mantis Gt220, as we saw previously in the video, that is mounted on the front of the ship. That is a size 2 gimbaled weapon, and we also have 2 more gimbaled CF227 Badger laser repeaters under each wing, and this is what contributes to our default pilot DPS of 1,067. Scrolling down, we're going to have a look at the other components of this ship. As I mentioned, they are all size 1, so you will be able to swap these out for better grade components, but you won't necessarily be able to increase their size. First and foremost, we have 2 sets of shields, both are size 1, and these are the Bulwark Industrial Grade C shield, providing 7,200 HP pop for a total shield strength of 14,400. Moving down, we'll see that we do only have 1 power plant here. It is a size 1 endurance power plant, and that is industrial grade B, so slightly better quality, providing 4,417 power per second. And then of course we have our coolers here, both size 1 as well, and these are the bracer coolers, which are military grade C, so slightly better. They do provide 260,000 worth of cooling. per second. And then finally, we have the quantum drive on the ship. Of course, only one of those. It's a size 1, and that would be the Expedition, which is a civilian grade C. This is definitely something that I would recommend you changing out, which will increase the amount of distance that you can travel in quantum travel, as well as reduce the amount of fuel burn, potentially, depending on what you get. This will give us a top speed of 148,972 megameters per second. The Aegis Avenger is honestly a really nice ship, and although the Titan does have different kinds of variants that are available, I feel like the Titan is honestly the best out of the bunch. The other ones are not quite as good, as they are very purpose-built for very specific applications like bounty hunting, but in that case we're looking at actually capturing prisoners alive and taking them with us, which is not something that's in the game at the moment. For your money, I think this is honestly one of the best bang for the buck ships available. It has a wonderful loadout with some missiles, some decent gimbaled guns, as well as plenty of storage space for the money that you're investing. If you're looking at getting into a brand new ship as a brand new pilot in Star Citizen, I would definitely recommend getting this ship as a starter package if the Aurora or the Alpha, the Mustang Alpha, is not for you. Again, if you're newer to Star Citizen, you can always check out my other videos as well. I'll also make sure to link my Star Citizen playlist so you can get information about trading, mining, and many other things that you can learn to do around the verse as a new player. That's going to do it for me today. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to leave me a like if you did, also to subscribe if you're brand new, and to ring the bell so that you never miss a video in the future. Please remember that I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over at Twitch, and I would love for you to join me there, as well as over on our Discord, where we have a really helpful and nice community that are all willing to help you out and play and chat with you as well. Those links are in the description. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again in the next video.